Ladies and gentlemen, many thanks for spending 2 hours with me last night on the Pathway to Perio's Excellence webinar. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I was really glad to note from the personal feedback that I received that a lot of you enjoyed it too. The take-home messages from that webinar are as follows. One, peritonitis is phenomenally common in the population, and this spans across the whole world. Only 10% of human beings are actually resistant to peritonitis, so the remainder of us will get it at some point in our lifetime, so we should be expecting to identify a lot of perio in our daily practice. Suboptimal treatment of peritonitis in the UK still represents a big issue. It is the main reason for litigation against dentists and their teams. And as I said to you, during lockdown, I committed to working with every single dental practice in the UK that wants to work with me in driving down that percentage from approximately 44% down to 0% in 10 years. Because the truth of the matter is, if you adopt the same periodontal pathway that I have in my practice, I cannot see a single reason why we should ever find ourselves in a situation where patients are upset with us about the way we have managed their periodontitis. To achieve this lofty goal, and I'm really committed to achieving it, we need support from dental practice owners out there. All the things that we discussed in the webinar, dental practice owners, please implement them. We also need support from clinicians, the dentists and the dental hygienists. Please implement all the things that we discussed in the webinar. And finally, we need a lot of support from carefully curated industrial partners. At this point in time, I would like to make a special mention and thank you to Dental Pathway run by Stephen Claffey, who has been totally responsible for the idea of the educational grant program that I talked to you about. It is the way in which we are able to subsidize the costs of instruments and techniques through education. And it was his idea, and it's a fantastic idea, and that's why I jumped on board with it straight away. Some of you were asking me, I'm sure that by now you would have opened up, click the link and it immediately takes you to the top of the page. So please scroll down, and the first product that you will see is the Perio kit that I use in my practice with the 5 basic curettes, the UNC15 probe, the neighbors probe, and if you were to buy that whole kit on the market, that would be approximately £450, 454, 73 pounds. But Dental Pathway has managed to bring that right down to £270, and I'm really, really grateful for that, because yesterday I discussed in some detail why the Q3D instruments in that kit are so very, very useful. You all know about ultrasonics, and I will spend a bit more time on the course talking to you in a lot more detail. The various types of ultrasonics, the various types of ultrasonic tips, the ones that I use. In the meantime, there is an immediate 20% discount offered through Dental Pathway for this W&H ultrasonic unit. It's an excellent unit. It's the one we use in practice and the one we use on our courses as well. It works very well. But some of you are also asking me about airflow devices, and again, W&H have offered a discount, a 15% discount, which we're grateful for course attendees. To gain access to any of these products, as I said, the basis of the educational grant pathway is that you come and you learn the Perio Pathway, the way to do things properly, the way to ensure that you're able to treat 85% of your cases. You learn the techniques and the scientific basis for those techniques on the grant program, and then you are able, through the course that you have just been on, to gain direct access to the special prices that I've just described. Now, you will all know that I said that the course is until the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of October 2020, and we want to give you immediate access to those instruments if you so desire. So to that end, what we need is for you to make a deposit for the course by clicking this button, which will take you onto the reservation page, and it is a £50 deposit per individual who comes on the course. And as I said on the webinar, we really need all practices to become perio practices, because 90% of the people that walk through your doors have peritonitis or will have peritonitis at some point in their lifetime. So we need the whole team to be singing the perio hymn sheet. To this end, ideally what I would want is the dental hygienists, the dentists in the practice, and at least one senior nurse in that practice. And that's why I've suggested that each individual practice sends 3 people at the barest minimum, so that we can begin to convert your practice, and you can then begin to sing the same perio hymn sheet with me, and together in 10 years' time, we will probably meet at a British Society of Peritology meeting or somewhere else to declare that in the preceding year, there has literally been no successful litigation against dentists and their teams. So please join me, ladies and gentlemen, on this noble quest, and I look forward to seeing you all very soon. Many thanks.